To brought us back into the bed once again, Abba Yahweh. On midweek scripture truth, Abba Yahweh. To hear the wisdom, the lesson from your beloved this night, Abba Yahweh. As he feeds your nation, Abba Yahweh. That your deep realm, your word go forth, Abba Yahweh. To the ears of your people, Abba Yahweh. To strengthen them, Abba Yahweh. Bind up every spirit to try to come against us, Abba Yahweh. And he feed us and prepare us, Abba Yahweh, for so short battle that this journey that we're on, Abba Yahweh. That we can go on through it, Abba Yahweh. That we can strive, Abba Yahweh, to the high calling, Abba Yahweh, of our precious YHWH HaMashiach. Oh, we rebuke you tonight, Abba Yahweh, for the precious dome that we shed is for YisraYah'ale, Abba Yahweh. Have your way in the midst of this house as he speak, Abba Yahweh. And to let him go forth, Abba Yahweh, to give us the understanding, Abba Yahweh, of to walk in this straight and narrow way, Abba Yahweh. To give us the understanding, Abba Yahweh, of when we go out, Abba Yahweh, of what to do, Abba Yahweh, to come back unto you, Abba Yahweh. Oh, we told you, Abba Yahweh, just for keeping us this day, Abba Yahweh. Just, Abba Yahweh, another chance, Abba Yahweh, that we can total you, Abba Yahweh. This great King that we serve, Abba Yahweh. Abba Yahweh, we know someone leaving this instant, Abba Yahweh. But Abba Yahweh, it's all because of your hot seed, Abba Yahweh. That we can sit before you and get on our knees, Abba Yahweh. And Abba Yahweh, lift up your mighty name, Abba Yahweh, and give your precious name to praise, Abba Yahweh. Who we never stop doing, Abba Yahweh. As long as you give us breath in our body, Abba Yahweh. Because, Abba Yahweh, we know without a shadow of a doubt, Abba Yahweh, where our help coming from, Abba Yahweh. And our help coming from, Abba Yahweh. Oh, our precious Abba Yahweh, Abba Yahweh. That you have made us a special people unto you, Abba Yahweh. You have made us a nation, Abba Yahweh. You have said it yourself, Abba Yahweh, a light that's set up on the hill, Abba Yahweh. That can't be hid, Abba Yahweh. Proclaiming the true and living King that we serve, Abba Yahweh. Not being ashamed, Abba Yahweh, before all men, Abba Yahweh. Declaring your precious name, Abba Yahweh, and your Son, YHWH HaMashiach. That precious dome that we shed it for us, Abba Yahweh. How can we not have a testimony, Abba Yahweh, of what you have done for us, Abba Yahweh? Oh, precious Abba Yahweh. Touch those that need to touch tonight, Abba Yahweh. Touch those in the bodies, Abba Yahweh. We know all power in your precious hand, Abba Yahweh. We know there's nothing too impossible for you, Abba Yahweh. What man said can't be done, Abba Yahweh. You can speak a word and it can be done, Abba Yahweh. Oh, precious Abba Yahweh. We know that you are our strength and our weakness, Abba Yahweh. You know you will bear us up when we fail, Abba Yahweh. You'll stretch our hands out toward us, Abba Yahweh. But we told you, Abba Yahweh. And your precious Abba Yahweh. And your precious Son, YHWH HaMashiach name. Let us stand to our feet, nation. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Let us turn. Precious Abba Yahweh, then the YHWH, Kadosh in your mighty name, your Melkut to come, your will be done. In earth, Abba Yahweh, and it is in the YHWH. Give us this day our daily lesson, and forgive us our debt, Abba Yahweh, and we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, Abba Yahweh. For yours is the Melkut, the power, and the honor, Abba Yahweh, forever, Abba Yahweh. So be it, Abba Yahweh. May it be fulfilled in the precious mighty name of YHWH HaMashiach. And you would like feed us the lesson, the bread of life this night, Abba Yahweh. To press on, Abba Yahweh. To stay in the straight and narrow way, Abba Yahweh. Let your deep rim touch the ears of your nation through the erect. Every folk on the earth this night, Abba Yahweh. In the precious mighty name of YHWH HaMashiach, I pray. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
We do want to say greetings to YisraYah'ale, in this bright and luminous place tonight. Certainly can't appreciate the brightness of his be at the tabernacle. Just a few more. So we do greet you all in Yahshua's mighty name. I want to continue in the process, the teaching we began several weeks ago concerning the miracles, healings. That this is a generation that pronounced that their healings are from Almighty Yah. I'm here to challenge that according to Torah. There's one important thing about linguistics that we must understand. Linguistics is a function whereby we as a people, that we would call our speaking in a pattern we call phraseology, or it produces what we call syntax, which consists of nouns, verbs, adjectives, superlatives, conjunction. And one of the most important things of linguistics, it is to convey an honest, understandable conveyancy. So when we speak, then it conveys that which is honest, right, precise. It gives us the exactness of all things. It doesn't utilize hyperbole that it caused something to be altered. I was listening to one of the most notable linguistics in America one day, and he speaking on linguistics. He was a man who looked just like me. He was a professor at Harvard University. And he said there's one thing about language. It is not that language change, is that we, as we grow and evolve, then we increase the volume of our vocabulary, whereby when we speak, everything is precise. It opens up what we're trying to convey to the hearer. And that is what Yahshua did. He did not speak in languages whereby those that had ear to hear, that they could not hear. And so we desire to understand, we will. And this is what I want to teach on tonight concerning, we're going to teach from Marcus, Luke, concerning that, the phrase there, if we shall pick up any serpent or drink any deadly thing, it should not do us any will. And so there are those that have an interpretation of that, of its legitimacy, that it is somewhat of a parable in the sense that it is spoken figuratively. There are things that are figuratively in Torah, but there is nothing that is not precise. If we understand the language, how to understand the elements of language, and we're all able to teach ourselves that, to understand the elements of language, whereby when we hear a matter or a thing, we understand. So what everything he said is precisely, it may be presented in a form that is figurative, but it is legitimate, and it is what he means. I will prove that out. We don't understand language, so we incorporate the meanings of what we want. And there are those that say they're performing miracles. They are performing organic miracles, whereby the lame is walking, the deaf can hear, the blind, their eyes are open. That's what Yahshua did. He opened the eyes of the blind, those that were crippled, they could walk again. There is not one. Oral Roberts did not do it. Billy Graham, not any of these, the Hebrew Israelites, no one. There is no camp that is performing the profound miracles of Yah, and there is a reason why. I want to teach from Matita Yah, but I want, because there's a group of people, they call themselves the snake handles in churches. They're located in some of the most deprived communities of the ignorance is profound. The hills of Tennessee, West Virginia, Kentucky, and they call themselves the snake handlers. I want to give you a little insight on this teaching. This is going to be part 1 tonight of this part 2 and maybe a part 3. Let me read this. It is the snake handling stigma, and they test God. Their God, they test. He's an ignorant buffoon. Their God. He's consumed with lies because they are ignorant. They are ignorant. These are the words that this article exposed. It says, the man's name is Dawid. Dawid gives a lot of ink to the preachers themselves, letting them explain why they handle snakes and endanger their own lives, and those that are accommodating them, including the family members who live in the homes, as many as 20 vipers, is vital to their faith. They have everything from some of the most venomous copperheads, rattlesnakes. This is because they believe a passage. I do too. I believe it. What Yahushua spoke in Mark. But I want to read this. There is such a power coming over you, and you are obedient to the Spirit of God. What do the preachers tell Dawid? You are compelled to do what he tells you, and you know that it will be right. This most venomous viper, this rattlesnake, and then you must handle them. Snake handling traces its roots to the Pentecostal fervor that swept the U.S. in the early 20th century. Pentecostal believes in signs and wonders. No, the Torah teaches us signs and wonders. Has nothing to do with Pentecostalism or any kind of religious fervor. The Torah teaches us that. That speaking in tongues, the Torah speaks that as well. It calls it gloskos. Gloskos is the language that exudes nobody but Yah. Those are the tongues. That's the language that we shall speak in, not this jittering, a stupidity. True. And we've been a part of that. Yes. It says prophesied, I believe in that. Faith, healing, I know that is true. And spiritual gifts endowed by YHWH. Snake handling Christians believe in signs and wonders, too, T-O-O. But they also believe in taking up snakes is something God commands them to do. They point to Mark chapter 16, verse 17 and 18. Now I'm going to start there, but let me finish the article. I'm going to break it down for us as the source of what they call faith. These signs shall follow them, these Simeons shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues. They shall take up serpents. And if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not harm them. They shall lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. I don't see any, those that say they have Mona, drinking any strychnine or handling rattlesnakes, but those that are in the western Midwest, towns, cities, states like West Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky and the southern parts of states like Tennessee. Matter of fact, Pennsylvania, they outlawed that practice in all those states except West Virginia. They also routinely drink poison, strychnine. This crystallized poison, they drink that. It's the usual cocktail, and they apply flames to the hands, to the feet. They show the power of God. They show the power or the ignorance of their stupidity. Yes. There's no power in that at all. They're unlearned, they're ignorant, they have no knowledge of Almighty God. And that's a fact. Yes. A student documents snake handlers do not always recover after they have been bitten. Tons of them die. They died. That was, I was telling my honorable friend in the back, there's a family of them. The grandfather was a snake handling preacher. He got bit, he died. His other son was one. He got bit, he died. And the son of the one of the grandfather, he got bit, and he got so sick he lasted 3 days, and he said to them, take me to the doctor. And when he got to the doctor, he dropped dead in the hospital. Now these are the leaders, and they're bitten quite often, and sometimes people adapt and immune to snake bite. There are people that you can do anything just a little bit at a time. Right. You can take a little venom a little bit at a time. Your body will adjust to that. It will become immune to it. It will become immune to it. Not that it will not make you sick or anything, but you build up the resistance to that poison. It just will not overtake you. Like those that have no kind of immune system that can handle something of that degree. Let me move. It says, and Dawid's documents, snake handlers do not always recover after they have been bitten. Most snake handlers place their faith in God, not doctors, to heal them and do not seek medical treatment. And they die. You understand? Because of their ignorance and their stupidity. I'm going to prove all things. I just want to give us this. Yes. I'm going to prove all things about Torah, okay? Jamie Coates, co-star of Snake Salvation. What a title, Snake Salvation. I've seen the young man. I've listened to him. He's only 22 years old. He's been bit 5 times, bitten. He's still alive. That doesn't mean. It says he was the co-star of Snake Salvation, dies of a snake bite. The list of deaths is long. More than 100 of them. 2 of the preachers, Dawid features, died before she completed the book that I took this information from. Jamie Coates, of a Kentucky preacher, was bitten by a rattlesnake and died 2 hours later. His family having refused medical treatment, West Virginia preacher Mac Wolford was bitten by a yellow timber rattler. Now that's a bad boy. Those bad boys, those timber rattlers, they're tough, they're big too. That what we kill that year, that's nothing compared to one of those big timber rattlers, the huge snakes. He died at a service, and he endured 10 painful hours of excruciating pain that paralyzed one, their nervous system and all. He was 44 years. He was 5 years old when his father, also a snake handling preacher, who died of a bite in 1983. like handling, in that they wanted to draw more people to the sect. Where the subject of national geographics, short-lived reality shows snake salvation, while that 2013 show ushered the curiosity into snake handling churches. For the first time, few of them have saved or have stayed. The traditional snake handling churches are doing fine, including the one in North Carolina, West Virginia, Kentucky. They're actually growing. It is the ones that went to the reality show route having really burned out a lot. It did not help them. Who tried to be a statement for the group died. So their patriarch that would sow this wisdom among the people of this nation died. Am I asking us a question? That even if we pick up this deadly thing, this serpent, you must understand what Torah, as I explained to us in the beginning, what linguistics is. It speaks an honest thing. It tells us of what it consists of. It points out all the vitals that is necessary to understand. And y'all knew in this time we will be ignorant. We will know everything, but we will know nothing. Because we're not a people that are willing to learn and understand. You understand that? You think that the time when YHWH came, when there was not many miracles or anything happening once a year, are we more wicked? We're violent. We're corrupt. More so than they were the ones that impelled him. Now, I want to begin here in Mark chapter 16. I want to read verse 17 and verse 18, but I want to give us knowledge of everything that is vital, and every word is vital here. This is what it says here in Mark 16:17. It talks about the Simeon and these signs, the wonders of miracle, profound actions among the nation, among his elect, his people. It says, it shall follow them that pistuo. Now that is the Greekish. Pistuo, those that believe. What does pistuo imply? I want to show you this. Those that are committed. You must be committed. You must be truthful, true in every aspect and inspiration. That's what pistuo, that's what it implies. It has to be a persuasion that is beyond your ability to comprehend. That you do not place credit of you, but unto the Most High. Pistuo means it is a place of confidence that you're in, that nothing shatters that. And we waver back and forward. You understand? We're sometimes up, and then we're sometimes down. So that's why linguistics teach us the very element of a word. And that's where we have lost it as a people. We know, and you don't even know. What does the word mean? What does it imply? Why is it used in that form, or this sentence, or this syntax in the form or of the pattern of the arrangement of words? And Yah has a pattern in Torah. He arranged words to see how far we go beyond just that. I will deal with the first arrangement or the pattern of words tonight. It is a higher prerogative. you know that what he commands is higher or greater than what you desire. Because it is a prerogative that it produces a Torah, a law to the nefesh. There's a law within you that nothing defines it. In essence, as the old ones of the days would say, comes hell or high water, nothing is going to impede me. To believe is more than saying, I believe. It is an action. It is the activity that one is progressive, one believes. One gives all because they trust that. Now let's examine ourselves. These shall be the signs of them that believe. These signs shall follow them. It's more than just saying, I believe. The devil believes and he trembles, but that doesn't mean he can operate in the function of Yah's Torah. He tells us how we're going to do it. He says, in my name shall they, in my name, not might, but they shall, they shall cast. They shall cast. What does that mean? That we, in the era of the 70s, the exorcist says that was casting out demons. That's not what he's... Can I define it? Yes. I'm ignorant, I'm not as smart as you, you will know. And these men that lie to the people, you tell me Benny Hinn is actually laying hands, and he blows, and throws his coat. You can see through the Torah, and they lay their hands. I believe in laying on hands. And I will lay my hands, and I will believe, and I will trust Yah. Ekbolah. This is what it implies. To deprive the power or the influence that is exercised in the world. Let me show us something here. You know, it's always, so there was a proverb, the mind is a wandering thing. Yah gave Adam and Chava a command. And when she began to look, she began to wonder, and then this thing called Nachash began to speak to her mind. Well, if I know if what will really happen. You have to understand the emblem of the serpent, what it identifies and what it means. According to Torah, it's not what I'm applying or some kind of definitive that is created by man. I will deal with the book. Yes. Right? Yeah. Yes. We'll deal with the book. It is an implication of force, overcoming opposition force. In essence, you say, I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it. You understand? And so the wandering mind, our minds question Yah. Our minds indict him. It is one thing our minds will never do. It will never indict us of our sins. When Adam sinned, his mind did not indict him. He said, the woman. That's the power of Nachash. He cannot oppose. It is to cause things. That's what it does. This is what Echbola means. Cause a thing to move straight on its intended goal. It doesn't alter. Yes. It doesn't alter. It doesn't change courses. Nothing circumvent. That's why words are vitally important. If you don't get understanding but that one thing, it's more important for you to read a volume of verbs and nouns and Keetvay, you have come away empty. I'd rather sit down and examine every word in a verse in Torah than to read 10 chapters. And all by getting We must get understanding. We must have the ability to discern and to know what is right, what is true.
Yes. Yes.
He said they're going to cast out, show them, devils. You notice the devils they're casting out. People always foaming, spitting, and regurgitating. I would say puking up. What a nasty place. A stinking brothel of druggery and winery. People go to clubs and they puke because they drink whiskey and the puke stinks. And so you're in a place that is dedicated unto Yah. You don't wear shoes in there, but they're puking like drunken dogs with buckets everywhere. That is not even the height of demonicism. Everybody puking, casting out devils. No, the greedy fat man like me should not have eaten so much. And this violent spewing of this stench out of them, that's casting out a demon. That is so silly. It's stupid and it's childlike. Let me move on. They shall cast out demons, or show them, there's a semicolon there. They shall speak with kin or kainos. They shall speak with kainos, new. Not shema baba sabada papa leta tata. That means nothing. It means nothing. True. We have all walked in the paradigm of ignorance. Yes. I am the chiefest of all men. Kainos implies as respect to substance. It is a new kind that is unprecedented. When Yah really deals with us, you can express the magnitude of the transformation. You can explain it. You will say, I'm a brand new me. It's just different. Thing seems brighter. It's just a different thing. It is unheard of. You can't even explain it. I'm going to break down.
Yes. Yes.
And then I'm going to engage us with the book. We must always go back to the Bereshit, the beginning, yes, and to understand the power of the serpent or Nachash. Yes. It gives us the pattern to know this is stupid. I began this teaching and showing us the great miracles. They're not something new. It's not something new, but this is a wicked and an adulterous generation.
Yes. Yeah.
We want y'all to move for us, yet we will not move for him at all. Let's get real, nation.
Yes.
They're going to speak with gloss. They're going to speak with new tongues. That's what it says here. The tongue is spoken of as the leading instrument. That little thing there. As the leading instrument which the praises of Yah are proclaimed. That's the tongue. You didn't speak that language. We spoke lies and corruption. Yes. We spoke self and every kind of violent defilement that we were in. Yes. Every kind of drunken folly we spoke that. But this here, the glosko, it is meant to speak. That is renewed. That is a new language and a new tongue. Not jebebebebeba, shatata. And him does that. And I know he's evil. T.D. Jakes does that and eat pork bellies, and I know they're evil. You cannot constitute anything righteous from any of those individuals. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
It says, when the praises of Yah are proclaimed, they are more of, or in accordance to the more rigorous conception of inspiration. It inspires your heart and your mind. Turn that one on. It inspires you.
Yes.
It caused this great affinity for Yah. And you want to talk about him in the morning and sing praises to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can chime along with some of the most wicked songs in the world. But you can't sing the praises of Yah. You're evil.
Yes.
You're wicked as hell.
Yes.
You're going to die that way. See, people, when I tell them, you're going to die the way you are. And that's a fact. That's a fact. We think we don't have time to get it right. You're not going to have time. When death lays its clamps on you, there's no time to get it right. Stay right.
Hallelujah.
That's just a fact.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
It says nothing human in an inspiration man was thought to be active except the tongue. And the tongue, this gloss school, it is put, I did put that part of the Holy Ghost, but it is put in motion by Ruach Kadash. It is the Ruach of Yah that put the tongues in motion to speak the language and the praises and the songs of gladness unto Yah. That's why he got what 6,000 David did in Tehillim songs. You don't need nobody to be inspired by the wickedness to write a song. You just go to the book. Every song should come out of the book. It should not come by some silly inspiration of anyone. It should come out of the book. That's what the world does. They're inspired to say, because they lost their love, it must come from the book. There's enough song to keep this generation, your children's generation, their children's generation, their children's generation, all down the line. You don't have to write a new song.
Hallelujah.
He gave us all the inspiration to bless him. With Tehillim or the Shira Shiram songs that are beyond. All you got to do is put the instruments, the timbro, the cymbals. That's all we need. Period. And so that is what this inspiration brings. Yeshua said, first of all, they that pistuo, believe. We must believe. There must be a commitment. Now look, you don't have to look at nobody else. You look at you, am I truly committed? I was reading today that 99.9% of the marriages, they're all in love. That's what they marry. 99.9% of all marriages. Geez, I loved him. I love her so. And yet about that many breaks up. Was it love? Was it lust? Was it deception? Let's deal with the reality of things, all right? Let's move to verse 18. This is the part I want to get to here. This is so profound here. If we look at the phraseology, now what is so profound about this, it is the words aro, or the composition of this phrase or phraseology, shall take up. It's profound. They shall take up. The Greek calls them office. Office. Like an office building. And they shall take up. They shall iro. They shall take up serpents. I'm not picking up a timber or a diamondback rattler. I will take his head off. I will stand back. I know one thing. He cannot get me no farther than how he raises up on his tail as far as he can strike. And a hoe gives me plenty distance. You can strike all you want to, but you cannot get me. And they shall take up. What does that imply? You must understand. But they shall take up office. We understand this thing we call the viper. There's nothing like our tongue. It is evil. It is poisonous. It's a violent thing. But I want us to understand what the word offers. It implies snake, serpent. But it also, the most authentic wisdom of this is this. With the ancients, our forefathers are called the ancient. Men of ancient, they were men of wisdom, men of great knowledge of matters. The serpent was the emblem. It was the certifier of what? Of cunning wisdom. That your own wisdom, you think you're smart. Don't I? Yeah. It cons you, it's cunning. It makes you believe the lie instead of the truth. Now this is what we're picking up now. Yeah. You hear, well, they taught me that, but it's a cunning lie of deception. We pick up lies and we pick up things. I will prove it out. That we're going to make a serpent, a snake, or a viper, that every place that the word serpent is used, it must be that. It's our own cunning wisdom. We think we're smarter than everyone. We know more than everyone. We got more wisdom than everyone, and it comes you. It's cunning. It's deceptive. It moves in a very subtle way, like Hashatan. And so you're so wise, it cons you. It plays the con game on you. It's not the wisdom of a wise man that convinced me. It's my own cunning and deception of the wisdom of Torah. And so you believe, just like I read that, they believe that I can pick up a snake. Nothing is going to happen to me, and they die. The leaders, the wives, they die. Yes. As they going out here picking up new copperhead. I'll pick up a black snake. Let the children just... But I'm not... Turn that one on, too. I'm not picking up a copperhead, water moccasin, a rattlesnake. I will cut the heads off. Yes. And the first thing I look for is a hoe, a rake, or a shovel. I've got it from there. Yes. Help, it's a snake. Oh, hold up, hold up. Last time, Israel, she called me, it's a snake out here. So when I went out there, so you'll call me for that. The youngest can handle that. Nothing but a black snake. I don't even kill snakes like that. Yeah. And the best hunters of rodents and things like that. Last one I had, it was pretty, I believe it was when she called me. I took it down by the shower house. Showed her Shango, and then I took it there to those woods. I said, let's let it go now. And I'll go kill him, because he will kill a rattlesnake. Yes, he will. And so it is our own cunning deception that we think we're smarter than everyone. Yes. Fool. Yes. True. We're smarter than everyone. We know more than everyone. I don't want to know more than everyone. True. Yeah. I don't want to be smart. Yeah. I want to be wise enough to know when I hear wisdom that it caused a great fatness of my nefesh. Yes. If we want to project ourselves that way, you're a fool. I think of who you are. Listening, or any of us in here, you are a flat out, stupid fool. Yes. We shall pick up the parables that were cunning that my mother and your mother and her mother taught us. They were lies. Yes. Not based on the principles of Yah's Torah. We're going to pick them up. I'm not picking up no snake. No. What about Shaul? We'll get to that part too. It's stupid. Yes. Hallelujah. 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 Not only that, he says, And they shall, and if they drink, if they drink any deadly, if they drink any deadly or this. I want to deal with the Pinot. It deals with this. This is what Pinot means. I'll read it from the Greek lexicon. Not something that I have conjured up. It means this. Listen to this, son. It means this. To receive into one's nefesh. To receive into one's nefesh. What serves to refresh, strengthen, nourish it unto life eternal. Yes. That doesn't mean you're drinking strychnine. You're a fool. You are a flat-out fool.
Yes.
You understand? Even if you drink a proverb or you taste the wine of folly, even those deadly things, because they will not even harm you. Because there is a reviving that revitalizes you.
Yes.
And it is the wisdom of God's Torah. These fools are not healing no one out there.
No.
They can't even pray for a headache.
It's true.
And that's just a fact.
Yes.
I believe. I trust Yah
Hallelujah.
for his mighty healings.
Hallelujah.
I do.
Yes.
I don't have to lay hands on you to pray on you. I just want to come hug you and just give you a kiss.
Hallelujah.
These are not healings.
No.
The hospital doesn't heal everyone.
No.
It is the sins of a nation that we have sung,
Yes.
even in our nation.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, it's not mock nation.
Yes.
We saw it is coming back.
Yes.
As the old proverbs of our forefathers, ignorant. And they were ignorant. Whatever you sow, you're going to reap it.
Yes.
You would hear that constantly. You may think I've gotten by, but I haven't gotten by. It's coming back. The roast is coming back. The roast, as Malcolm X said. And it came back on him. He died.
Yes.
Was killed. He said we shall drink in any tis or deadly thing. It shall not hurt us at all. It will not do us harm. I don't care what we drink. He tells us to drink as we were taught. We drink of the fountain. Well, there is no fountain. No more than we go to the dining hall and you got some water in your house.
Yeah.
But there's a fountain. There is a machor that produces life and substance. It comes from the living Torah. It is a stream. We that trust and believe, out of our bellies shall flow rivers of the fountains. What rivers? The river of Emunah, the river of patience, the river above all of Ahava.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Come on, nation.
Yes.
You're not healing. You believe in the lies. Nothing has changed for you. Oh, he healed me. Lie. Lie.
Yes.
He's drunk as a skunk, drinking and lusting. The healing. Take you all night to pray to get a demon out. I told Bishop Dawid many years, probably 15, 18 years ago. He wanted to argue with me concerning the woman that followed Shaul. I said, let's look at what it says. I said, Shaul turned and told that devil, go to hell. Yes. He wanted to play it out like he had been praying and praying. I said, you are a silly man. That's right. Yes. Bishop Charles Dow. Yes. He learned that crap from this. I can show you who he learned it from. From this fat, grotesque-looking dog that was in the Baptist church. I can show you.
Yes.
You can hide from others. He was this big, fat Caucasian. He couldn't even stand up. He was so grotesque. And thou follows the same kind of precise action of him. Yes. He get a piece of paper, come out, demon of lust, come out, demon of hate, cannot be loved, demon of this. That's what he does. Yeah. I will prove it to us. Yes. And he praised this man. Yes. He went there among this devil. Shatan cannot cast out his own kind. No. His kingdom will fall. I will prove it. Hallelujah. I will have us in a session and show you. Put them beside each other. I've shown my achim. Yes. Yes. Same thing. Yes. I've shown my achim. I say, look, here's thou. Here's this big dog here. This man can't even stand up. Yes. Pork chop eating, chitlin, grubbing dog. And thou emulates him. Mm-hmm. Thou emulates him. Yes. Thou emulates him. Bishop emulates him. Told him he's a liar. You heal nobody. Liar. I'm saying this to excite him. I like to fight every now and then. I like an excellent fight. All right. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. He said, they shall pray all night. Lay is simply to lay. They shall lay hands on the akratos, the sick. Who are the sick? Akratos is without strength. I'm without strength. Although I have no ailment, I'm without strength. They shall lay hands on the sick, on those without strength, those that are weak, those that are sick. And he says they shall class loose. They shall recover. In essence, this is what class loose, L-O-C-E, loose, it means to be beautiful. Finely, exceedingly, well, to speak well of. That's what it means. Yes. And to do tongue. See, when a man does tongue by his neighbor and everyone, that man is healed. Yes. He may be weak, she may, but this is what the ignorance of a nation of people that are so smart and know everything, yes, but they know nothing. And they will foment at their mouths and argue with everyone. And they have no idea, no concept of language. Language is perfect. Syntax, formulate the structure with a verb, a noun, a conjunction, a subject, an adverb. And it is an honest conveyance of something. When a mother says, stop, she means that, doesn't she? Yes. When she says stop, she means that. He starts shaking his head when I said that, because language is honest. Yes. It is not something, the only thing that confounds language and us, and we can look at Bovel, when we try to exude ourselves above everyone. I'm smarter than you. I know more than you. Yes. I don't need nobody to tell me. This is an ignorant generation. Yes. And that's when things become confound. Confound. That's when things become confound. Because we'll exude ourselves above any kind of straightforwardness of anything answered. Yes. Yes. Because we don't like to deal with honesty. Language, yes, the most valuable component. And I know that man, his skin was a little lighter than mine. He built like my Zahim. But his head was just as nappy as mine. You understand? Very brilliant man, you could tell his language was just superb the way he talked. I'm impressed with the way people talk. And he said there's one thing about linguistics, language. It is one thing that evolved from anyone. There is a growth in one's vocabulary that they can express not just something that what our forefathers are those that when language was we began to speak English in this concept. But it goes beyond the boundaries of that which is elementary. I can talk to any man.
Yes.
I can talk to any man. I don't care if he has 10 PhDs.
Yes.
Nuclear physics. It makes me no difference at all. Because the language of honesty.
Hallelujah.
The language of honesty.
Yes.
Can talk to anyone.
Hallelujah.
And when you're honest, they will be impressed with your language.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
We are people we want to prove and show. I don't have to prove anything.
Hallelujah.
Life is too short for that. I want my life to be an example to others.
Hallelujah.
They will know that I am a child of YisraYah'ale. Not this fake frivolity and foolishness
Yes.
that is taking place among the people. No. Now I said I want to get to one thing. That in Marcus, Luke, that verse 18, shall take up. Now that's vital. Now I want to lay the foundation of that. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
What I use, that is I-ro, like I-N-R-O-W. I-ro. This is what it implies, or it's definitive here when YHWH spoke these words. It is to take up oneself. All right? Was Yahshua raised?
Yes.
So the word has been raised. It is to take up oneself and carry what has been raised up. The Torah has been raised up for us, right? We must carry the mandate of Torah. Now this translated the Greek language. We take it up. We carry, like a mother take up her baby, that which one that has been delivered unto her, she picks it up and she carries it. If I can use that analogy. So truth has been granted unto us. We must pick it up. We must carry it.
Yes.
You shall take up. So even in your ignorance of your childlike ways in our youth, and I'm still in my youth of knowledge and learning, cutting proverbs spoken. And although people say some of the same things that their great-grandman taught the one that taught them, that taught her, and it has nothing to do with truth. Traditions and all those things has nothing to do with truth. Nothing to do with truth. So when you come to the knowledge of truth, even though you've carried that, it's not going to hurt you. You desire the wisdom of truth. And when you come to that knowledge, you cut the serpent's head off.
Hallelujah.
You have no business picking up snakes. Why the Benny Hinns are not picking them up? They believe the same thing Bishop Dow believes.
Yes.
They believe the same thing Benny Hinn. So who is Benny Hinn's God? And who are those gods that at least they got courage enough to believe the authenticity of what is said, and they believe it for its verbalization. Pick up a snake. Benny Hinn, he's softer than cottonelle tissue. These men are not about to pick up those snakes. I know I'm not. I will pick up his head once I cut it off. That's what I will do. I will cut the snake's head off.
Yes.
And I'm going to cut these demons and these devils
Hallelujah.
that plan on the people.
Yes.
We as a nation of YisraYah'ale, it is the comfort of one another that heals us greater than us praying all night.
Hallelujah.
And that's just a fact.
Yes. Hallelujah.
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 I searched every place where this I-ro shall take up. It's only used 4 times in Torah. Yeskel, once there only, and in Marcus. It's used 3 times in the Old Covenant, and 1 time where Yahshua said it. Now see, that's a student. I'm not as smart as us. That's where it's used. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Only 3 times. 4 times with what I'm going to open up. I want to ask us a question. I read last week, let me read it. Marcus 13:22. This is the most profound sign of the time, the era we're living in. Mark 13:22. He says, for false Hamashiach, those that promise you something, there's nothing there. For false Mashiach, and these pseudo-prophets shall arise. They shall rise. They shall come on the scene. And it says this, shall show. Doesn't it say that?
Yes.
And they shall take up. And they shall take up. A affirmation. It confirms. He said, there shall be this entourage of men. It will be false. It will be delusional. They will be full of lies. He says, pseudo-prophets shall rise. He says, and they shall show. To me. They shall perform beyond one's ability to understand.
Yes.
They shall show signs, Simeon. They shall show wonders. They don't teach that.
No.
Benny Hinn is from hell.
Yes.
Bishop Dow is from hell.
Yes.
And all these men that call themselves healing in a damn lie.
True.
Jesus Christ is a lie.
Yes. Hallelujah.
He's a damnable, twisted, homosexual, effeminate liar.
Yes.
Period.
Truth, yeah.
And they don't heal in the name of YHWH HaMashiach. They shall do me signs and wonders. Is there a comma at the end of wonders?
Yes.
Yes.
So that means that there is a statement or a clause that follows. That if you just read that statement alone, it independently stands on its own.
Yes.
But yet it will edify and bring knowledge to that which was before it. It says they should do all that wonders. What? To seduce. To seduce. You tell me that that doesn't make a statement, the word
Yes.
to seduce. To seduce, to lead away, to drive a wedge. To seduce, that's another comma, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sure it is. If it were possible, they had the ability. If it was possible, if thou believest that all things are possible, even the electos. The elect. That word electos means one thing in the Greek. Elected by Almighty Yah.
Hallelujah.
That's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
So, the miracles and the signs and the wonders, is it of YHWH? Sure it is.
Hallelujah.
We're a nation, we're his children. We have sinned egregiously against him.
Yes.
We have not loved him. We all say we do, we're liars.
Yeah.
We haven't loved each other like we should love him.
Yes.
And that's a fact.
True.
We'd rather be with a dog and a liar.
True.
You can sit around and laugh all damn day. Something is sick in your wicked mind. I don't care who it is, your mammy,
Yeah.
your grandmammy, or you.
Yes.
Yeah, when it comes to the nation, Yah's people, isn't it amazing that we can share everything with the wicked? When it comes to Yah's people, we have no love for them.
True.
I don't tell the wicked nothing. I don't even fellowship with the wicked.
Yeah.
Because we all self-righteous in our religious ways.
Yes.
You talk about the Baptists, you don't even have the protocol of a Baptist. You call yourself a Hebrew Israelite? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Deadly serpents. I want to deal with that for a moment. Pick them up. Let's go to Maaseh Shalishim. Maaseh Shalishim, the book of Acts. I want to read a few verses quickly because I want to deal with this office, this cunning wisdom, this cunning, the Greek form, and also Nachash, those that whisper and lie and work their magical spell. It's nothing that work a magical spell like words.
Yes.
Why you say that? I remember I saw this fella. He was slick as ice on the street. He was a fly dresser too. He was very poetic too. He could see someone and just start talking. What the boys call rapping today. But he didn't do it like that. He was slick. He was so slick it was insane. I just look at it. His expressions. And I would see him mesmerize those of the opposite. And they would be taken by the subtlety of his cunning ways. Just like women today.
Yes.
Just like men today. Okay? The cunningness of their craftiness. People believe it.
Yes.
We're going to deal with that tonight. Time flies. I want to deal with what YHWH speaks here in the book of Acts. Acts 28, verse 2. When he was at Milda. Verse 2, and the barbarians who lived there showed us, he said they showed us such kindness.
No.
Huh? No little kindness. That's what he's saying. The kindness they showed us, it was not a little kindness.
Yes.
He was saying they showed us great kindness. Those that did not have the knowledge of Yah, that's why he called them barbarians. They were not up, he said they showed us no little kindness. That's what it says, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But what he said they showed us such kindness of love and such greatness. For they kindle a fire and receive. See, that's, they receive. They open their hearts. They accept it. They receive us. Not just me, but everyone. Everyone that was with me. My entourage. They showed us no respect. They were kind to us all.
Yes.
Because of the present rain. Yah had poured rain upon a drought, please.
Yeah.
He's poured rain upon us tonight.
Hallelujah.
Droughts.
Yeah.
And because of the cold. And when Shaul had gathered a bundle of sticks, and he laid them on a fire, it says there came a viper, an echinach. There came a viper.
Yes.
And not only was there a viper or a poisonous snake, but there was some cunning seduction as well. See, that's what the enemy does. He wants to grab you by your hat.
Yes.
You have those that want to shake your hand, and I don't hardly do that with men today. I was showing my friend, someone wrote me and called me everything it is. I was reading to my wife last night. Called me everything. Homosexual. You hug the man, where are the women? Why you don't? It sounds to me like he got a little homosexuality in him.
Yeah.
I haven't responded to anyone in many, many years. I said to him, keep listening. He's everything I say is lies. Yo, it sure can't wait till you die. No, no, no. There's no insurance money, so I don't think she wants me to die. I doubt that. You're such a liar, you just lie. Oh, tell me what I lied about. What? I said to him, why does he listen to me? If I'm not listening to no liar. I don't listen to Benny Hinn.
No.
I don't go listen to these liars for inspiration. Why is he listening to me? That's stupid to me. It doesn't make sense. Your mother was right. You were not worth a damn. And your daddy, he knew you were nothing. I didn't even know him. Met him one time in my life, so it was all right when we departed. But this is the stupidity of this generation.
Yes.
I said to my Israel, something must be cutting down in the fat of his head.
Yes.
Tell me my lies. And then he concluded with all of that. Quote, what he said, quote, may Yah have mercy on you, unquote. Well, I'm not praying. YHWH said, I pray not for the world.
Yeah.
I pray for the house of YisraYah'ale.
Yes.
So don't worry about me. I will. It says, he gathered this bundle, verse 3, and he laid on the fire that came a viper, or a viper, or a serpent, meaning that there's a man or one with malcontent. They're evil, they're wicked. It just doesn't mean a snake.
Yes.
Do you understand? Malignant, they're violent, they're corrupt, and they're evil. He says, out of the heat, fasten, bit on his hand. He bit it. And those barbarians, those that have been removed from Yah's teaching of his truth of Torah, they knew they knew that kind. And that was what they call the one-stepper, as you've heard. Snakes bite you. The snakes that you don't play with the black mamba there in Africa. You don't play with those snakes. There's a little snake in the regions of the north of Carolinas where it's called the coral snake. Pretty little snake. But she's a deadly thing.
Yes.
She brings death.
Yes.
You don't play with little snakes. The venom in a baby copperhead surpasses the older ones. So you don't play with the little ones.
Yes.
That is their mode of protection. He fastened bit his hand, and when the barbarians saw this venom, does it say beast?
Yes.
How can a snake be a beast? Therion. We must understand verbiage in Torah. He's talking about Therion is a man that is brutal and beastly. This all has to do with us. As this beastly mentality has laid hold Therion, we're beasts, we're beastly, we act like beasts.
Yes.
It says this venomous beast hang on his hand, and they said among themselves, no doubt, this man is a murderer. He's killed somebody. Because they knew the cunning proverbs.
Yes.
Something like that bites you. You have done evil. As the old proverbs, you do quote good things will come to you. You do bad things, and so they knew that this man that was among us, although he proclaimed this truth, they say, no doubt this man is a murderer, though he has escaped the sea, yet vengeance or the judgment suffer not him to live. And that's he didn't get by. He had done others wrong, and that's why this theory on this beast laid hold unto him. Shaul, I would have done the same thing, stumped the head in. He shook the beast off into the fire. So does that imply that there was a beast like a behemoth, a cow? That's a beast. That's what the Torah deals with.
Yes.
But he shook it off in the fire and felt no harm. Nothing at all affected him.
Yes.
That was a proverb in the days, just shake it off. Some of y'all are not old enough to know that one. I see your head going that way. And yours should be going that way. And ours should be going that way. Okay. Honey, just shake it off. Don't let it, just shake it off. Shake it off, shake it off. Shake it off. Baffle them. No, if a roach crawl over me, I'm going to shake him off. I'll just catch him and kill him. What? I can wash my hands. Ain't no big deal. Those palmetto bugs, I run them down barefooted. Yeah. So what? So what? So what? Get out of here. I got it. That's all that matters to me. I got it. They won't breathe again. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And they looked to see when he was swell up. That timberback rattle bite, those snake handling, snake religion, they die, they swell up. See when you swell up, come on. Or fall down dead suddenly. And after they had a little great while, as time went by, they saw that nothing happened to Shaul. It wasn't harmed. Not at all. They changed their mind. Now these men that I read, the snake handlers, they died.
Yes.
Granddaddy died, his son died, and his son's son died. Such great men of faith, take me to the hospital. They're not drinking the strychnine right. Because if they were drinking that strychnine right, they would be as stiff and they would take the temperature check out as dead, and the temperature would drop to 0. No, they doing it right. Any kind of deadly nachash, the serpent nachash is a death. When he said to Chava, Yah knows that when you defy him and tell him to go to hell, I'm not saying that to Yah. I'm saying that we're so cute. Yeah. We don't understand language to the point that we may not say that, but that's what we're saying. Yeah. That's what she said. You be like him. Well, if I be like him, ain't nothing can tell me. And that's how our mind, an inquisitive, stupid mind. Yes. And that's how stupid we have become. Yes, yeah. It's ignorant. Nothing happened to Shaul. They changed their mind. And then this is what they said. This is what Nahash. Then he must be, quote, a god, unquote. Isn't that what our shatan told Haman? Yes. God knows that you will become just like him. You become a god. And you will have the ability to know Tao from Ra, evil. We all know all of our ways are right. It's only my ways that are wrong. Everyone else is wrong. You're the kindest of all. You're flat out lying. You're not even kind. You're not even sweet. That's how we lie. That's how we lie. The healing of YisraYah'ale. What is more healing than a man knowing that his time is up? And he got this entourage of those that are with him and they love him and they care for him. I was talking to girls the other day and they were talking that always Pesach, how they leave. No, they didn't leave, all right. So I listened to them a while. I said the most important thing is you're here.
Yeah.
They said that don't matter.
Yeah.
And I said, when the Papa is going to leave, I said, I'm going to check out. You know that I'm going to die. And she just broke out and started crying. She covered her face. Well, that's the reality because I want to know the reality. I don't live lies. And I'm not going to lie to us.
Hallelujah.
That's why I say to people, when people listen, I've never lied to my wife. There was no reason to lie to her.
Hallelujah.
I've never hung with anyone. I've never lied to the Akim about nothing. I've not embellished anything to try to present something to alter the scope. I don't do that. Because I know there's evil at the door when we do that.
Yes.
That's the seed of darkness, of hell. And that's a fact. I will never protect me. I'm wrong, and I'm wrong. 99, I'm wrong 100% of the time. He's right.
Hallelujah.
And as long as I walk in what he commands me, I will do right by every man. You understand? And that's just a fact of the matter. Goes on to say in verse 7, I want to get this quickly. Hallelujah. In the same area was the land that belonged to the chief of the island, whose name was Publius, who received us. He lodged us for 3 days. Curiously, he was kind and very sweet. And it came to pass that the father of Publius lay sick of a fever of a bloody flux. He had a bowel ailment. It was beyond that what we call hemorrhoids. He had an ailment. To whom Shaul, he entered in. And he laid his hands on him. And he was healed. That's bogus. These are lies of man.
Yes.
You going to pray for me for 10 hours? Come out, devil. You are a lying demon from the birth of your dirty, pappy devil. You're a liar. He laid hands and he was healed. He just laid his hands on him. We go to the doctor, they got to lay hands on him. And the nurse got to lay medicine in us. You understand? And there are many times it works. And that's just a fact. You got a headache, we take an aspirin or we Tylenol, does it work? Come on, yeah, it does. Why? Because science knows how to deal with the neurological system, what causes it. They understand. We are so crazy. They understand the brain. I was looking yesterday, I was looking. I got a book, it's called The Gray's Book of Autonomy. I've had that one book for. I've thrown away a lot of books, but that book I've had for 35 years. And there's one thing about the Gray's Book of Autonomy. Every physician, every doctor have that book. It's a fact. They all go back to those basics. And so if I feel something, I go to Gray's or I want to understand something, I pick the book up. I haven't picked it up. It's been a while. But I've had that book for a long time. So don't tell me it doesn't work. Don't tell me when they put, when that anesthesiology put that intravenous line in you, you don't know whether you're living or dead. Don't tell me that. It's a self-righteous generation. It lies and it lies and it knows it's lying. It does. Tylenol, cough medicine, that alcohol, all that in it. It happens. Now, let's not be silly. Let's be honest. Above all things. It said he just laid his hands on him and healed him.
Yes.
God should just say, come out, devil. Come down. These men are not laying hands. They're not healing anyone. He is going in this latter day. He's going to show the excellence of his work. And there are not many, because there are not many that's going to enter in.
Hallelujah.
All right? Yeshua was in the land of his own birth. He cannot do many miracles or many signs. Why? Because of their unbelief. I heard one say, oh, Baker, you all remember him. I walk in the store and demons cry out, you hillbilly of the jackass. They probably say, look at this fool here. They get the growling. And I just looked at this fool. He didn't want to step down the hill. Just go around walking everywhere and heal everyone. These are liars. And they're deceiving us for this false anticipation. Only those that are elected by Yeshua, they will know him. Verse 29. He healed them in verse 9. So when this was done, it says, others also, which had asthenian diseases, they were weak, they were feeble, they were fragile, in the island came, and they were healed. So you tell me, Mr. Benny Hinn, you read out the Colosseum, the whole 25,000, and they come everywhere, and there is not one video on YouTube or anywhere can show me where old Robert said to the man, rise on, be healed, and he got up. It's a lie. Yes. Matter of fact, if you read about old Roberts I have, they said it was a shaman. He went to this shaman. There was no organic healing in that devil. And the folks loved him. These liars out here, healing no one. Healing no one. None whatsoever. No more than the Muslims. No more than the Hebrew Israelites. They're doing no more than Benny Hinn or any other, the other hunchmen and liars of hell. I want to ask us a question. Let me read this. Turn quickly to Bereshit, Genesis. That's Dan. That's what that sign says, doesn't it? He's a judge after Nephilim. This is what it says in Bereshit, Genesis 49:7. If we're going to deal with that precision of a noun, that it means that is implied or it doesn't reflect the action. Look what it says in Genesis 49:17. And Dan, does it say that this is Yaakov? He called his sons together to pour out the Berachaya, the blessings of Yah upon them. Yes. And this is what he said. And Dan shall be a serpent. That's what he said. Yes. Does that mean he was a snake? You know, back in the day, they would say, that old snake. They were called men snakes. Yes. When they didn't operate in fidelity, he nothing but a snake. That's all he is. Old serpent. Is Dan a serpent? And they shall take up serpents. This is what his father said. He said, Dan shall be the empowerment and the emboldenment of Nachash. He will lie, he will alter, he will speak against the ways of Yah. Because there's something, and the one that shall rise up against HaMashiach shall come from the entity or the identity. He's a Hebrew, isn't he? He's a Hebrew. Yes. It was not the Romans, it was the Hebrews. Yes. That did each other wrong. Lied and sold their brother Yosef. It says, and Dan shall be a serpent, a Nahash. Look, by the way. And I don't know how many times I've expressed that. The way, Chaderach, it means in the Old of ancient days, it meant the Torah. That's what the way is. We must walk in the way. And the way is Torah. He shall be in the way. He shall be like a sephifun. He shall be like an atler. There is no other place where the sephifun is found. But it identifies that.
Yes.
Wasn't that it says, and Shaul, when he went to put wood on the fire, the stick, it said there came a viper.
Yeah.
Was it a viper?
Yes.
He says here that Dan shall be an adder. Same thing.
Yes.
Sephifun. An adder. No other place. I examine words when I say no other place is found. That's an identity for a purpose that deals with one. And the seed of that one. Well, I'm quite sure everybody can tell you, these Hebrew Israelites can tell you they're from the tribe of Dan. Most of it, America wants to be from the tribe of Yehudah. That is such an asinine,
Yes.
stupid concept. It is so immature. I don't care, Mr. Bivin. They call the man Abba. That's his son. He is their Avat. They call him Abba Bivin. He's a dead. He's an old man. He's dead now. And those young men, and the young man that came up with that, I can't think of his name. He was only about 19 years old, 18, 19. Not that young, that is a discrimination. He was about 19, 20 years old. And there was one that said to Bivens, come on, Pops, you know that's not right. And Bivens says, I know. If you base something on a lie, then your whole thesis is a lie. And these Hebrew Israelites cannot prove that.
Yes.
And they would tell you to prove all things. And they can never. That's the first place you got to start with me. Prove the chart. Prove it. Prove it. Yah scattered, he puts
Yes.
the four corners to the erats. There's people everywhere in every cloak of color, of skin color. It's amazing because these Hebrew Israelites will go to a doctor. There's a blood transfusion. They will tell them, just get up. We can't help you because we give blood. And they will put, the life is in the blood, right?
Yes.
You put a white boy Esau blood in you. Your wife having your baby. She needs a transfusion. These are stupid individuals.
Yes.
Esau, but yet he laid his hands, first one on your baby's head. You fool.
Yes.
Fool. I'm saying that for that antagonizing woman to write me again. She hasn't done it in a while. Fool.
Yeah.
He says he shall be an adder. So a man can be an adder. It's that ruthless, brutal, violent spirit in them.
Yes.
He shall be an adder in the path, in the way. What? That no shock that bites the horse heel, so the rider shall fall backwards. I may touch on that a little more next week. The time comes on that. But yet, that with this anti-Mashiach, one shall come from. And that's a fact.
Yes.
We'll teach on that one day. Be worthy of him. That's fine by me. I'm not going on the commentary of what these liars say.
Yeah.
We will preach from the truth.
Yeah.
I want to read one more thing, because this is a very vital teaching here. Turn quickly. Turn quickly for this most, Exodus 4:3. Then I want to deal with something next week. The poison in a greater way than fashion that we understand. Shemot, Exodus 4:3. This is when Yah gave Moshe power to work profound miracles. Mofet, that's what it be called, the Hebrew language, Mofet. It says in Exodus 4:3, this is what Yah said to Moshe. He said, cast it upon the ground. And he cast it upon the ground, and it became a serpent. Do we understand that? Yah conveyed to those of Mitzrayim, his wisdom is more cunning than Pharaoh. Pharaoh had all the magicians and the wise men. They understood the cunning fables. They could answer things. That's what a cunning man is. He can draw up things that you've never heard. He can speak in a way. And because we're gullible, we buy that. This is not a metaphor. It was a physicality of a matter, but it was also a metaphor. There was something that was deeper to say, Pharaoh, and all of you have been taught by the most excellent men of their wisdom of your time. They're not like this one. Raised in your house. His wisdom is greater than yours. It says, and it became a serpent. And Moshe was just, as they would say, this knowledge is just too deep. He fled before it. Yah said to Moshe, put forth your hand and take it by the tail. And he put forth his hand and he caught it. And he caught it. And he caught it. I began here in Mark where it says to stay there. He said, and they shall lay hands on the sick. They shall take up serpents. It shall not hurt them at all. You understand, nation? Yeah. And that's just a fact. It says here, and Moshe, he put forth his hand. He grabbed him by the tail. And he caught it. And his rod is death. His rod, Shebat. It has more than just a stick. It has to deal with the tribes of YisraYah'ale. And it said it became a rod in his hand. Hallelujah. 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 Chapter 7, verse 9, quickly. Exodus. And I'm going to close on that. I want to lay a foundation tonight. It says in Exodus chapter 7 verse Exodus 9. We know that this generation that is wicked, they seek a sign. When Pharaoh shall speak to you, saying, show a miracle, Mofet. Show us a wonder or a sign. Show us a miracle for you. You shall say to Haran, take your rod, cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. That my wisdom is beyond your ability to comprehend. This is not just speaking of a snake. You think, Pharaoh, I'm being real now. He said, that's nothing, that. I got boys that are bad. I got boys that will trick your mind and make you think you see an elephant in the room, man. And it's all a delusion of an illusion. But what he was saying, that all of your cunning wisdom, all of it, is not as profound as what I shall utter upon this land. And death shall overtake you. You can bring all your boys, I will show you my wisdom, will eat up their wisdom. And it did. Yes. The wisdom of God is greater than the wisdom of the world. True. That's just a fact. Hallelujah. We're going to continue there on next Keetvay Emet. May the riches of your rest upon you. You that have join us in the live broadcast. Be encouraged. I am. Yes. Be strong. Okay. We want to hear from you all. Do assist us. If this brought some kind of light of understanding, do assist us in the continuance of that. We're trying to do things. Those lights, we get the new lights. 3, 6. Okay, they're going to work perfectly. Yes. It's brighter, and so the camera shows a much better visuality. That's what we say. It takes money. Just, all the lights in here, and those are the, did you put some in that one too? Those on the school? Yes, sir. Okay. Those are those dusted on LED lights. They don't, those little lights we had in that those things, you know, I look at things like this. We invested quite a bit of money, and we haven't just, the other ones will be here Friday. We'll do all the homes like that, every home. Because if we can save a penny, I look at saving a penny, then we have done well. I said to my friend the other day, there's a piece of equipment we need. It costs I found a piece, it costs $1,400 because our pastors, as Joe came to spread the litter on the field, he said to YHWH, he said, you know, you all really need to aerate. And I said, YHWH, man. Matter of fact, when Alan was here, we would do that. He had that thing, that's not aeration. And so immediately when YHWH told me that, I began to search. And I looked, and I found, we can't buy one like what the Agribus, those things cost. Cheap one costs $18,000, $12,000, $15,000, $100,000. You want to get something, they cost, it's not cheap. And I said, that's what we'll do, son. We'll do that. So I found one, it's called the Norm Track. And so I found one, and we were off last Sunday. Yeah. So whenever I was out, I'm searching for, I'm looking, I'm searching. And I found one. And then I found this place in Malaysia, Indonesia, just a bunch of crooks in those countries. Vietnam, they scam in there. Just like as my friend said, the Nigerians, all this con mess, you give me $200. You know, we need $200 to get all this settled so we can get the 5 million. People are that stupid to buy that. So I found one for $69. We could get it in 10 to 12 days. It would cost us, it was $600, half of the work. And I said, this is too fishy. And so I put my private eye on that. I said, this is too fishy. I said, these things are not cheap. And this thing weighs 500 pounds, it's shipped from Malaysia. Like that. So the detective, he's better than Sherlock Holmes. He got the answer. I said, son, I knew that would just. He said, I found another place, Riyadh. And they were all in cahoots together. And so we need to get that piece of equipment. It's going to cost $1,500. I talked with one at Northern. I said, look, I'm a veteran. Northern gives you 10% discount. So we don't do it if you do it online. We can't do it that way. You have to go to the store. Well, online, you don't have to pay the taxes and all of that. But God's going to bless us to get that. We need that. And I've talked to this man in Canada. You have to understand, other parts of the world don't have the kind of agribusiness or agribus like us. Canada, they do nothing like us. There are people in North Dakota, South Dakota. I get this progressive magazine called Progressive Farming. You may find a piece of land that's 1,000 acres. It may go for $9 million. Farmland, just land. And that's just a fact. So if you spend $9 million for a piece of land, you got to make that land work for you. You're not building no houses. You're dropping that stuff in the ground. And to have that kind of money to buy that kind of land, when I would go and get this, go down to the farmer down the street here and get sweet potatoes from him. He was a nice person at first, but I know how to break people down. Yeah, there's nothing that will break you down better than one thing, can I tell you? It's just kindness. I know how to talk to people. I'm down. And I said to him, Mike, look at that thing down. Look at that. He said, what do you, he said, what do you think something like that costs? I said, I couldn't tell you what that thing costs, man. He said, that tractor, he said that, just that disc on the back, I think it was close to $200,000. That thing did everything. It talked to the dirt. He said, that's $200,000. I knew that tractor was every bit. He said, that's $500,000 right there, that tractor and that. So you got to do a lot of farming to pay for that. He didn't pay cash that, he financed that. So can you imagine? I was telling my friend, the largest farm in the world, one of the largest, it's in Alberta, Canada. It's 50 miles, it's 35, 40 miles this way, 35 this way, 30. You can't get out there with a rundown, a piece of machine. You got to get out there. when time to harvest the wheat, you got to run 24/7. Can't rain. And they roll 24/7 GPS. You don't harvest that kind of wheat overnight. 2 or 3 days. And they just roll. Helicopters and everything. They don't stop rolling. They got a tractor right there in line, putting the wheat and soy in that. As soon as that one pulls out, there's another one right there. Huge, massive trucks. See, that's farming. That's an agribusiness. That's a multi-million. When we go down 601, those farms you see on the right and the left, those men, I heard about them when I first came here. They're known as the Cox brothers. One lives over there where we go get the corn from Mr. Long and it over there. Yeah. When I first saw the house, I said, this who lives here looked like something that a ball player would be, a country boy it was a massive construct. And so even back then when I came here 24 years ago, they were farming about 10, 15,000 acres. They buy land. They don't buy land. They will buy by the millions of dollars. That old man that gave us stuff, all this stuff where we built the fence from the turkey barns, the man who he and his son got busted. Son had those 5 tractor trailer loads of guns and all that right down here. I was in the liquor store. I went to get some white corn whiskey to make some cough medicine. And he says to me, we were talking, we were engaged, and he was talking about Circle K, the man who owned that. He said, you know how much land they bought last year? No, I don't know, because he said they bought $22 million worth. Circle K, you see that? Circle K, they're more than millionaires. You see that? You know when you go down 151, that big grain bin on the right down there? You all see that? How much you think that will cost today? You can get that for $200,000. That big, huge grain bin over there. And it's another man, his name is Howie. They run the Agribus here. That grain bin today with that scale and all that, that's going to cost you minimum $1 million to $1.34 million. Those bins are not cheap. You don't get them for $30,000. It's not cheap. So you got to make money to pay for something of that degree. And they don't do no aeration. They drill every seed in the ground. And so we need that for our cows, and we get the nice organic fertilizer on our fields. And we need to get that. But it's going to cost $1,400. We're going to get it. I found one. But I was delighted that I saw that one we could have got it for $600, $608. I was happy as a frog on a lily pad. But I said, it's this here. And that internet got a lot of crazy messages. I said, nah, they ain't getting our money. $600 is a lot of money. And so I'm not going to do it. But there's one other piece that we need to get. It's called a pendulum spreader. And they're not cheap. Other parts of the world, they use things not like in America. And so like that log cutter, we got that thing that we just used, the big old cutter for wood. I don't know, you daughters haven't seen it, but I started looking for that thing years back. And the only place then I could find them were in Australia or Canada. And it was going to cost more to purchase it in Australia, because the people in other parts of the world, they're not like us when it comes to work. They will farm and they will grow food, you understand? And so I'm looking, I found one in Michigan. And it was rust. The man wanted $1,000 just about this. Bring it here. It's going to cost us $2,000 and you didn't know what you were getting. And I had contacted this man a year before we purchased that one. He said, well, it's going to cost you that. I said, well, I have the email you wrote me. You said you'd charge me this. He said, well, if I said I'd charge you that, I'll do it. That's okay. But that was a young lady. He had every right to charge me more. And so you had to transfer money. You just can't go buy it. And we got it shipped here for like $500. Even I went down to Columbia to pick it up. So I'm working with this man. They got what they call the pendulum spreader. And those things, the one we're looking at, it's $1,600. When we get it shipped here, there's another $600. It's over $2,000. But we need that for what we do around here. I'm telling you. To do that aeration, the punch your hole, you go out there, you spread whatever you need. The nitrogen, the organic nitrogen and all of that. It just makes things grow. It does. It just helps so much. And we're all getting older here. True. You can't move like you used.
True.
And I can.
True.
And so that makes it easy for them. Once that I worked on a tractor I have up there, it's perfect. Fixing that thing for me. I can get out there, I can ride out there, I can see the stuff individually, personally. I can look at the cabbage, I don't have to get home. I can spray, I can fertilize, I can spray the kelp and whatever I need to spray on that. That's a lot of walking there. And we're not going to grow like we've done in the past. We're going to grow enough for us to eat constantly, all year long. Enough food. Fact of the matter.
Yes.
I got 2 projects. I'm going to put a deck all the way across that house and make that house beautiful. Put a roof on there and all that. I'm going to build my baby's playground. I'm going to do it over. I'm going to tear all that out. Do them a nice playground. It's going to be nice. They know what they're going to get. And that's what we have to do. It costs money. Set it all free. You come, you will eat, you'll enjoy yourself. Understand that? Bless you all. Turn toward YisraYah'ale in all things we do above for the excellence of your blessing. Watch over your nation, heal us above all men. I need your healing, restore your nation, your people, Yahshua's mighty name. We pray your great strength rest upon us all. Blessed be the name of Yahshua.
Yes.
Bless YisraYah'ale scattered abroad. Yahshua's name. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.